Fani Willis. How much more can we talk about Fani Willis? What is there to say about Fani Willis? What is this big deal? What is commanding us and me? Why am I so fascinated by this? I will tell you, because of what it represents. What she represents, what it represents. This is the most base and venal of corruption. This is a woman who was positioned to get Trump. Without any concern whatsoever as to the relative guilt, because if you think for one moment, under any rational understanding of what racketeering is and RICO, you realize that this is the most ridiculous example of it in terms of what it represents and what it doesn't represent. It's beyond anything I've ever seen. How is this even possible? How do people who barely knew each other, how are they supposedly involved in concocting a racketeering enterprise when the only thing they have in common is the indictment? But that's not it. It's more than that. Because they pinned their hopes on one of their, and I don't want to say anything involving diversity or equity or any of that stuff. I'm not saying that, because this is not about race and it's not about affirmative action, but it's about somebody who didn't really vet the player, who might have thought that under some different parameter, maybe diversity, maybe some weird equity, I don't know what, but maybe under something that has to do with any other involvement or level of competence other than competence, maybe somebody thought she would be perfect, because there's evidence of Fani and Mr. Wade and others meeting with Biden administration officials and getting help from Justice Department. It doesn't surprise me or you, and shouldn't. It's been done before. But what I say to you, which is more important, while it may not fall under the actual category under the law of a conflict of interest, listen to me. Listen. It may have to deal with something about somebody who happens to have complete and total contempt for the law, for the court, for the sanctity of the law, of jurisprudence, who doesn't care, who is in no way involved or interested in anything involving rational, legitimate, mature, and sober thought as to the law, as to what truly represents our system. This is a woman who, again, technically speaking, she can hire incompetent staff. She can hire boyfriends, lovers, spouses. There's nothing under Georgia law that prohibits a married couple from opposing each other. Married people. No, that's not it. That's not what it's about. What it's about is the fact that when asked about this initial arrangement, all she had to do, if she knew anything about the law, would be to admit whatever it was. She could have said anything, and it would not have disqualified her. Nothing. It would not have subjected her to any type of disciplinary action for hiring someone whom she is romantically involved with. As I said, husbands and wives can work together. They can work against each other. That's not it. All she had to do was say, no, that's it. And when I enlisted him or agreed to pay him, along with the other contract lawyers, $250 or whatever it was, I had no problem in assigning that or paying him. And what he decides to do with his money is up to him. whether he dates me, gives it to his wife, whom he, I believe, is actually still married to as we speak. Whomever he decides to direct this money is of no consequence to anybody. It's of no interest to anybody. She doesn't have to pay anybody back. There may be something at state levels in terms of ethics for underlings to be dating, but that has nothing to do with the propriety of this case. There is, in terms of her not being disqualified. Do you get that? But that's not what happened. Listen to me again. She lied. Unnecessarily so. How do I say this again? She lied for no reason. She lied for no reason. She came up with these concocted stories, this lunacy, as did Mr. Wade. And as far as Mr. Bradley goes, I don't even know what to make out of this. I think this man is schizoid. I don't think he remembers or knows where he is or what he's doing or what the goal is of his alleged putrescence, dare I say that. Oh, no. Listen to me very carefully. Do you not see the level of absolute horror in terms of the lies, the mendacity, the contumacity, this contempt that she has, not just for the judge, not just for the court, but for reality? She's basically thumbing her nose and saying, I'm going to lie. Again, I say this again, lie in areas that don't even require lying, and I am going to do everything in my power to make you understand and you recognize the fact, and this is important, this is critical, for you to understand that I am going to be dealing with this kind of a weird, strange version of reality for reasons that only I understand. I could have answered these questions honestly. And now, while I might not be subject to disqualification in my office, I might be subject to disqualification not via conflict of interest, but because of having lost all faith, all veracity, all respect, all reputation with the court by putting everybody through this ridiculous charade needlessly. Not only that, perhaps be subjected to, as is Mr. Wade, subjected to a case of corruption, of perjury. Mr. Wade has to worry about perjury in his own divorce case when he might have finagled or tinkered with pleadings and the like. Oh no! This is far too beautiful for you to understand and grasp just how incredibly, unnecessarily, stubbornly, stupidly corrupt this lying machine is. She spews lies and then sits in front of the judge, rocking back and forth, kind of almost like chewing gum. And if she could have been filing her nails to show utter disdain for the court, it would come close to trying to mimic her actions, her affect. Look long and hard, my friends. Bookmark this case. You will never see this again. Now, dear friend, I ask you to accept my thanks for having listened to me. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Please make sure that every and all references to this channel are made by you liking the videos and also hitting that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And whatever you do, I ask, beseech, and importune you to comment as you see fit.